presentation, we're going to be doing something which is different than we have done in the past. We're going to show how the EPROM Plus system can be run outside of Windows. But to start, we're going to be running it, showing it run under Windows, which is what you see now. But we're going to run it on a computer, actually several computers, which show that the system can be fully functional with working with memory parts and anything else that you might want to do as just a dedicated control system, dedicated platform. This allows you to use the system on any computer as long as it has the correct interface and as long as it has a USB slot, or you can also run it off of the distribution media, which is the CD-ROM, which is included with all of our packages. This is different than other products which are Windows only. Our product is not Windows only, and this allows you great flexibility, and it also prevents the product from being tied just to Microsoft. So that means you don't have to worry about versions, memory, hard drive capacity, speed, .framework updates or Windows updates, or things that stop working after you get a Windows update. Also, a feature of our software is it's not a license that you have. When you buy the product, you own the software. There's no legal agreement. There are no tokens. There are no subscriptions. You buy it and you get it. It's part of your package. Our software updates are free on our website. So it gives you an opportunity to own a tool where you can use it anywhere you want, take it anywhere you want. You don't need internet access in order to make it function. So let's just start with showing you it working outside of Windows on a different machine. Part of our business, we recondition Panasonic Toughbooks and sell them if someone wishes to purchase a turnkey system from us, turnkey package. And we will buy them in lots, and sometimes we get machines that are not ones that we decide to recondition and offer for sale. And they're just kind of put aside and used for parts or for testing, or in this case, we're going to use it for this demonstration. So this is Panasonic CF52, which was not loved by its previous user. By that I mean, let's just look at the side here. I'll tell you what, let's open the lid. And if you look right here, there is no power switch cover. If you look here, there is no whatever this is. I'm not sure what card went there, but it's missing. If we turn it up on its side, it's missing whatever went here, which is probably the battery or the hard drive. And I'm sure there was a cover here, which is also missing. So, whoever had this previously, they really weren't interested in making sure that it was taken care of. Probably was issued by some company. And if you look on this side, you will see it has a DVD drive, but it's also missing a cover there. So for all intents and purposes, this machine is pretty useless if you wanted to do anything with it other than what I'm going to do with it, which is to set it up and have it run the EPROM Plus system. So we'll do that in just a moment. Okay, here we are looking at the machine turned off. CF52 is turned off. I'm going to reach in here and hit the power button without a cover. And you can watch it start. Let's just see what it says. Boots up with the Panasonic splash screen, and as the camera focuses, it says operating system not found. And that's because there's no hard drive on this computer. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we have the distribution disc that would come with one of our kits. That's right here, the little business card sized CD. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to install that in the CD drive on this machine. Close the door. Turn it back so you can see the screen. All right, now let us turn this off. And now I'm going to attach the AR-32A programming unit to the computer. And we're going to be using an interface called an express card to do that. And here's the AR-32A. I'm just going to show you it's got the in-circuit adapter installed and it's powered on. So let me get the interface card and I'll show you how that works. Here's the interface card. This is a made by a company called Shintech. We like these a lot because there's no extra little umbilical like some of the other express card manufacturers provide. The connector attaches directly to the card. And the express card slot is one of the ones without the cover on it over here. So all we have to do is insert the card in the side of the machine. Pull this up a little bit so you can see. Goes in, locks in, and now let's push this back, go back to the other camera, and see what happens. Let's turn this guy on. Push the power button, and remember we have the distribution CD in the drive. So this is going to boot up off of the CD, and you're going to be presented once it starts with some startup options. And the startup options are number one, start EPROM Plus Programming System, no CD/DVD drive support. That would be if you were going to read from it. It's booted from that. Plus some others. I'm just going to do number one to show you how this works. So we're going to press one. I've selected one all by itself. It starts up and it says the program is not responding. Right. The program is not responding because the programmer is not installed on this computer. It's just connected to the computer. So our software does not know where to go to look for the programmer. So what we're going to tell the programmer or the software to do is we're going to use a function or an option in the startup screen that will allow you to search for the programmer. Card's installed, so all you have to do is go and we're going to press S for search. Finds the programmer, assigns an I/O range to it, and off you go. At this point, it's working exactly the same way that it would work under Windows. You can see there's that screen. This screen, but I'll tell you, let's select a device. Let's select a 93C56, the old standby. There's the screen. Now remember, we're running outside of Windows. We're running off of the CD. So you can do the same thing here that you can do here. The system works exactly the same way. This would be under Windows, and this is without Windows. Outside of Windows, on a machine which has no hard drive, no battery, no covers, no power switch cover. Essentially, we've taken a useless machine and turned it into a controller for the EPROM Plus system. Okay, I have a little extra room here, so I'm going to open this immobilizer. Take it out of its case, and we're going to use a dip clip to read this part. So let's put the connector onto the 93 headers. is already set, but this part is a 93 LC66A, so we're going to have to change that. So let's do that. I'm going to press 93 LC66A. Enter. The switches are the same as the 56, so we'll clear the information display and quickly attach the clip to the part. Pin 1 right here, it's marked pin 1. Let's put the clip on the part. And let's see if this is going to cooperate. So let's go to Command 5, press G, and there we have data from a module which has been clearly reflashed, which means that I'm going to go down here, which is where you're going to see the data. It's on this is a 512 byte part, and the first half of it is all F's, but the second half of it is where the reflash information is actually saved. It's the last couple of lines of bytes in the part. So we just read it. Again, we're running without Windows. But at this point, I'll show you if you wanted to reflash this module, assuming that it had been, you wanted to reflash it, you didn't have any way to do it other than with this defective machine, and you're booting from the CD. Let me show you how we would do that. Okay, so we'll press Escape, press Path, and you'll see there's Locksmith on the display. We're going to press Enter. We're going to go to the Librarian. We're going to go to Lexus. It's right there. I'm going to press Enter, and we're going to go down to, what is this? This is a LS400. So we're going to go down to LS400 right there. Put the selector on that line. Press F6, and you'll see the status line changes to program load. There's the file, the reflash file, F3 to program. I'm going to press F3. It loads. Number of devices required 1. Press P to program, and press P. And programming complete. Data verification is correct. So this module has just been reflashed using what's essentially a useless dead computer booting from the CD drive. So the point of this is to show that the system can be run outside of Windows on a machine, even one which is, for all intents and purposes, pretty useless. So that concludes booting from the CD-DVD drive. So now let's show you another way to boot the machine, and that's off of a USB drive. Alright, USB key, drive, whatever you want to call it, is installed in the USB slot. Let's turn this computer back on and see what happens. Panasonic splash screen, operating system, and there's the same set of startup options that you saw with the CD drive, except now they're coming from the bootable USB drive. So we'll choose option 1. Sets up its buffers, comes up, and it says again, program unit is not responding. So as before, we're going to tell it to search. There's the device selection table, and this is a 93 LC66A. As before, we're going to 3 LC66A, and going to attach the clip to the part as we did before. So you might ask yourself, why did you remove the clip? Because with the clip attached, the software will not be able to find the programmer because the clip attached to the part will interfere with the self-identification algorithm that we use. So you attach to your part after you start the software, not before you start the software. Alright, so, alright, clip attached to the part, Command 5, Command G, and there is the data. Once again, it's been reflashed, so you're only going to see something down in the second half of the 512 byte part. But what's different now? Okay, we're running off of the USB drive. This is kind of preferred if you're going to be using the system standalone without Windows, because unlike the CD DVD drive, which you cannot save files to, you can save files to the USB drive. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to leave the buffer editor, and I'm going to press P for path, and you'll see it says current path is C. Alright, the reason is whenever you boot off of a USB drive, the USB drive will become drive C. Now this is going to be different than drive C under Windows. Okay, so if you were to save a file to the USB drive, and then you remove the USB drive from this computer and you put it in a computer which was running Windows, Windows would assign the USB drive as some other letter, E, F, G, H, whatever your Windows machine chose. Okay, none of the files or directories or anything else would be different, but the drive letter under Windows will be different than it is when you're running directly from the drive on a machine without a hard drive or outside of Windows. Okay, well, on the USB drive it's clear that we have already created a directory called cloneout. So we're going to save this file, the data from this file, into the directory called cloneout. So we're going to set cloneout as the working directory where the file is going to be saved. And in order to do that, all we have to do is press enter. That will do it. We can press insert. I'm going to press insert so you can see how this appears. So I'm going to press insert, which is right here. Insert, and you'll notice that the current path is now cloneout. Okay, so we're ready to go, and we can do this either from the main command list. I'll show you if I want to save the buffer to disk file from the main command list. All I have to do is press A, and there is my request for a file name down in the lower left hand corner. Enter file name. Or if I go to command 5, which is the buffer editor, and I press A, you get the same prompt. Save buffer to disk file. Why is it there? Because if you want to work in the buffer editor and save a file, you can. You don't have to leave the buffer editor, save your file, go back to the buffer editor. There are commands from the main command list which are also able to be executed from within the buffer editor. So let's call this Lexus, L-E-X-U-S .bin, B-I-N. Enter. Save defined buffer range. Okay, that means the defined buffer range is the size of the part. So the defined range in this case is 0 to 1FF. If you look up in the lower right hand corner, it says device size 0 to 1FF. So we already know how much of the buffer to save for you. So you just have to respond with yes, and it'll say file save complete. Now let's go back and look. We go back to the main command list, press D for directory of files, and clearly we used this in a previous demonstration, because there is the Lexus 400.bin and what the file that we just saved, which is Lexus.bin. Now I'll show you something else here. If you want to erase the Lexus 400.bin, you can do an Alt-R, and it says remove file now. Whichever file is highlighted, say yes, and the file is gone. So you can do some file operations within our software, but it wasn't intended to be a file manager. But you can add directories and delete files and things like that. Okay, so what we have done is we have just saved the contents from this immobilizer to a file in the cloneout directory of the USB drive. So if you wanted to, you could take this USB drive out and insert it into any other computer and access that file. Same is true if you wanted to put the file back. You could put a file on the USB drive and boot off of the drive and program it back using the same procedure, except your programming instead of reading. Alright, so that shows the outside of Windows procedure for both the bootable, from the bootable distribution disk, CD-DVD, and also from a bootable USB drive. Alright, the next computer I'm going to show you is a Lenovo S10e. This is a netbook that was fabricated, manufactured by Lenovo. It's really popular with school students because of its size. You can see here's my hand on top of the machine, how tiny it is. But again, it has an express card slot and a USB port. And let's just open it up. I'm not going to go through everything that I did with the previous machine, reading and everything, but I'm just going to show you how we're able to boot it off of the USB drive. So let me get the other camera. Okay, because of the excellent mirror characteristics of the screen on this computer, I've adjusted the lighting so you should be able to see what the computer does without seeing everything else going on. So let me turn it on. And this is first we're going to boot it up. It's going to boot up under Windows. And I'm going to show you that this machine has Windows 7 installed on it. The card is inserted in the card slot. And once Windows starts, we will go ahead and run the programmer software. The program has it's been installed for this particular express card I/O range, so I don't think that I'm going to need to search. Also, hopefully you're not going to have a seizure, as the flicker rate on the screen is because of a synchronization issue with the scan of the camera. And it obviously has a aftermarket battery in it. But let's go over here to EPROM Plus software and start it up. Yep, so it's already installed, so there's no reason to search. There's the device selection table, and I'm not going to bother to change the device type or any of that. I'm just showing you that here it is working under Windows. Exit this by pressing Escape. Exit program. Yes. I'll shut the machine down. And give me a moment, and I'm going to install the USB drive. Alright, here's the USB drive. I'm not going to move the computer because the other camera angle will be altered. Put it in the USB slot on the computer. Going to adjust the lighting. Switch to the other camera. And press the power switch on the cute little Lenovo netbook. Now, it's not going to find the programmer because we're going to have to tell it to search for this one. One thing that you might want to know is that if you do set up a machine and you boot consistently off the USB drive, you can set up the USB drive so that you don't have to search. But if you're going to just take it from machine to machine to machine and move it to different applications or different places, then it's just as easy to tilt the search. So we're going to tilt the search. Search. There it finds the programmer. There's a device selection table. Okay, I'm not going to go any further than that, but this is showing you the system works on a cute little Lenovo S10e machine without Windows. This is booting off of the USB drive. Okay, the last computer I'm going to show you is a Panasonic Toughbook CF19 tablet. The Panasonic Toughbooks, they all have express card slots, which makes them unique because not all computers have express card slot. All computer manufacturers do manufacture machines with express card slots. Something about express card slots, they hook right into the back plane of the processor, right into the processor bus, so they're extremely fast. Matter of fact, you'll find that the gamers will actually have an external express card, express video card, hooked to some notebooks because they're so quick. But the interface is extremely fast. It's actually faster than USB because USB has to sit between the processor and control by Windows, where the express card goes right in and hooks to the processor bus. Anyway, this is a CF19 tablet, and I'm going to go ahead and show you again basically what I showed you with the previous machine. So we'll open it up and you can see there's the screen, and this has Windows 10 installed on it. So we'll go ahead and start Windows 10. I'll turn on the power switch here and switch over to the screen cam so you can see this, and we'll boot up Windows, and then we will start our software. So there's the startup screen for Windows. This machine stopped booting from the USB drive after the last Windows 10 update, so we had to go in and re-enable it in the BIOS. We all know that Microsoft knows best, so they didn't want us to have the option to go in and access the BIOS, so they just turned it off. So we had to turn it back on, and now we should be, there we are at the desktop, and we'll go ahead and double click the EPROM Plus icon, and I believe this is already installed for this computer. So let's just see what happens here. Yes, we're all set. Now, I'll show you something else that Microsoft did. You just gotta love them. They just do stuff. This is the Windows 10 window in which our software runs. This is the Windows 7 window. Which one looks nicer? The one with the pretty blue rounded corners, or this one? The one with the big square gray rectangle at the top. So, as in many cases, Microsoft has not improved it, they've just made it uglier. So, anyway, it still works, it just doesn't look as nice as it does under Windows 7. So there we are booting into the device selection table. Just wanted to show you how that works in Windows 10. The system runs fine under Windows 10. So we're going to exit, and I'm going to boot off of the USB drive. So let's press escape. Exit program, yes. There's the power switch, shut the machine off. And give me a moment and I'll install the USB drive. Alright. There is the USB drive installed in the USB slot. This computer has two. There's one here and then there's one on the back. Okay, installed the USB drive in the computer, and I'm going to cause this machine to have catastrophic failure. I'm going to slide the hard drive out. Like this. Let's take the hard drive out. Hard drive is out. Now, let's turn the machine on. And should boot off of the USB drive. And there we have the startup options. So I'm going to press option 1, and it's going to go through and set up its buffers and not find the unit, but that's okay because we're going to tell it to search. There's located the unit, and you're going to get the device selection table, and from there you know what we would do. So this was the last machine I was going to demonstrate running outside of Windows. Clearly, without a hard drive, that would be pretty much of a catastrophic failure. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I've shown you a seriously disabled CF52. I've shown you a cute little Lenovo Netbook running Windows 7, and I've shown you a CF19 tablet running Windows 10, and then the same tablet running without its hard drive installed. So the whole point of this demonstration was to show you that the EPROM Plus system can not only be run under Windows, it can be run without Windows. It can be run from the distribution media, the CD, or it can be run from a bootable USB drive. And if you're interested in making a bootable USB drive, you can do that by going to our website, and under Download Software you have the option of downloading an ISO file and using a bootable USB creator, such as a program called Rufus, which there's a link on our website, to make a bootable USB drive, which has the software. So you can create your own. And if you're interested in the express card interface that we're using, there's I'll put a link at the top of the screen on our website if you would like to acquire one of those. Matter of fact, it's called the Quick Launch Interface, and it includes the express card and a bootable USB drive. So that pretty much wraps up this demonstration. We appreciate you watching, and feel free to contact us at arlabs.com if you have any questions.